Hello and welcome to Producer Profile. Producer Profile is a show where we showcase some of the talented people who work behind the scenes in the entertainment, business, and local communities while making positive influences on the lives of others.
Hello and welcome to Producer Profile. My name is Orville Nelson and I'm here with Stella Winston. Stella, it's so good to be back, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. We have another interesting producer. And what's the concept of Producer Profile?
The concept of Producer Profile is to bring to the viewing audience the different producers at Brooklyn Community Access Television and what they're all about and what their shows are all about and what it takes to produce their shows.
So giving the viewers a little insight.
And what does it take to put on a television show? Yes, it takes a whole lot, doesn't it, Orville?
It takes a whole lot. And today our guest is, who's going to tell us how much it takes for her to get her show on, is Kenshasha Shabaka, and it's Dr. Kenshasha
Shabaka. Also Professor.
Oh, Professor?
Yes.
Also just Kenshasha.
Kenshasha. May we call you Kenshasha?
You certainly may.
Now, Kenshasha, you have a show called 1,001 Ways to
Cope with Stress.
Cope with Stress.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of ways to cope.
It sure is. If you can do 1,001 ways to cope with stress, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to handle most things in society and in your personal and your interpersonal life.
So now in terms of this show, I'm sure some of the audiences, well, I'm not certain, but how many shows have you been doing? Has it been a regular, do you have a regular time slot as of yet?
Not yet. It's so new a show that I haven't gotten a regular time slot yet. But I have gotten pretty good response from the times that it has been shown.
But you have a long history with stress and dealing with stress.
Right.
Now there was something that happened to you in your personal life that
that got me started.
Because you're a clinical psychologist,
right?
Actually, by
training. Yes, right. My degree is in clinical psychology. I studied at George Washington University in Washington D.C. But what happened is I was very happy working with children. I worked in the Head Start program. I've worked in the Head Start program for a number of years. As a matter of fact, since the inception of Head Start, I was a psychologist working with them as either a mental health consultant or working with children directly, doing teacher workshops, working directly with children in play therapy, etc. But also, I worked as a tenured professor in the City University of New York for 25 years. And I started off at Borough of Manhattan Community College. I then went to Medgar Evers College when it opened in 1970. I then went from there to the College of Staten Island, where I spent most of the years of my tenureship. And during that period, I was asked to come up to Hunter College, where I established my favorite course, which is actually stress management.
No, there's a story. Go right ahead.
Yeah, there was something, you lost someone very special to you.
Very, very special. My soulmate, my husband, the father of my 3 children, whom I love to this moment. We had a very special relationship. And he died of hypertensive stroke. As you know, that is a stress-related disease. And from the moment that I found out that had I known to give him a fresh clove of garlic, which was in the kitchen, for him to chew on, I might have been able to save his life. Now, that's a heavy one. That's very heavy because it's so simple. And what I found in my exploration of this field, because I studied it quite intensively, after I lost him, I wanted no one, absolutely no one. My worst enemy, whom I can't think of who it would be right now. Oh, I do have an idea. Okay. But anyhow, I would not want them to experience the pain, the extraordinary pain, the devastation, the emotional loss. Oh God, I
that you
choke up even thinking about.
Yeah.
Yes, and my children. He died when my children were only 2, 5, and 8 years of age. So I have pretty much been a single black parent all these years.
You had to learn to live with stress
I
also.
had to learn to live with stress, and the things that I learned in terms of making life and coping with life and handling those some very devastating, because actually the studies show that the most the most devastating level of stress is someone that you love dies, and especially if it's a husband or a spouse.
Now tell me, you have instituted, you have put together a course in
Stress management.
elaborate on that.
Well, what I did is I began to study it. And as I started accumulating so much information, I said, you know, it's better to keep this from just myself or even from my most immediate friends. I would like to share this on a broader spectrum. So I felt, since teaching is my forte, I said I will put together a course. It took me about, I'd say 5 or so years to really pull together all the materials, decide what text I would use and the kinds of examples that I would use and how I would formulate this course. And once I presented that to my colleagues at the College of Staten Island, it was amazing the kind of resistance. Now, you know, in academia, you're supposed to teach philosophy and psychology and biology and all those Scientology type things.
Yes, forget the basics.
But the thing is that actually stress management is so basic. I mean, stress management is so, if you will, necessary for any accomplishment.
Very true.
And if you know how to handle stresses, you can get through your nursing course, or you can get through your biology and your medical courses, and you can get through your law courses, etc.
Now, could you please give a short definition of what stress is?
All right.
And also, you have coined a term called eustress, or is that
Oh,
coined
no,
through
that
someone
was
else?
not, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
That's actually a
Okay.
form, yes. Eustress is a Greek term meaning good stress.
Oh, okay.
And distress, everybody knows what that is.
Okay.
And what is so interesting is that most people know about distress, but many of my classes that I taught at the college didn't realize that there's a good stress.
But isn't in your body, doesn't the same chemical reaction happen?
Absolutely.
Doesn't
That's what's
matter
so
if it's
interesting.
distress or eustress, right?
Now that's the thing that most people find very fascinating, that physiologically your body sweats, the adrenaline starts running, the pupils dilate, the palpitation of the heart, the adrenaline flows, all of these things happen whether you are experiencing a truck running you down in the middle of the street, or you might be experiencing something quite pleasant, such as a wonderful sexual relationship, or promotion, or marriage,
Or performing on stage.
or performing on stage. That, for some people, that's extremely eustressful. And you even hear many very profound artists say that they have butterflies before going out. But then once they're before the audience, they, you know, just are transformed. And what happens is that in terms of the difference between the eustress and distress, it really is nothing more than attitude. So that we can work on ourselves to determine how we will respond. We can't always know what's going to happen to us, but we can pretty much predict how we will respond if we're ready for
I'm hearing
it.
something. If let me see if I'm correct.
All right.
Stress is stress.
Oh, yes.
You have eustress and you have distress.
Yes.
Now, with the thought, the mind,
Is
the
a
mind
powerful
will either
instrument.
say, ah,
That's
for
right.
distress,
And go wild.
or okay, this is something positive. This is something I have to get through. This is something.
Right. In other words, 'tis an ill wind that does no man good. You can take two different people. One will lose a job. One will lose a spouse. And they will respond. The loss can be equally devastating.
Yes.
But one will respond in terms of, now, what is the lesson to be learned? What can I do to grow from this injury? What can I do in a profound way to enhance my life and those around me, in spite of what has happened to me? We've done that historically in terms of dealing with the racism in America.
So looking at it as a challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, Kenshasha,
Yes.
we're going to take a musical interlude, and when we come back, let's talk
Oh,
about
that's a stress management
Yes,
technique.
okay. Let's do stress management.
Okay.
We're going to hear Rashid Bey on the piano.
Wonderful.
So let's.
Well, that's another form
deal
of
with
stress
some
management. Oh,
stress.
wow.
Can't wait to be de-stressed. Come on.
Okay.
That's right. That's
De-stress
eustress. That's
De-stress
right.
us.
That's eustress.
That's you stress.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Listen
stress
to some-
ourselves.
That's right. That's the one.
What we've been doing during the musical interlude was some deep breathing, and that is a technique or method of stress management, as well as listening to the music. Is that correct?
It was so beautiful. As a matter of fact, it was such a wonderful piece because what happens is when you deep breathe, you're actually clearing out all the carbon dioxide and all the poisons in your body by inhaling very deeply through your nostrils, holding it for 4 seconds, and then exhaling through pursed lips. You're relieving your body of the old stale stuff. And most people breathe very shallowly.
Okay, I was wondering.
But by breathing deeply, you're exhaling all of the negative. Now, people do that even with attitude, with feelings. Sometimes when you're angry, you can deep breathe, and it really releases that anger. It sends it away from you.
A visualization could be done with your breathing out negativity.
Oh, absolutely. Well, visualization is another technique. See, deep breathing is one technique, and I also teach the concept of progressive relaxation, where you tense and relax every muscle unit of your body from head to toe. And that's
all together?
No, not at once. No, it's where you learn this one. You'll watch my show.
Okay.
It's done on my show, and then you do this and this, and you do the head, and I mean the whole full measure. I just don't think we have time to do that now, right?
Well, mention a few of them. You said visualization, and you combined also breathing.
You're the deep breathing. You have also meditation is a wonderful form of handling stress.
Can you succinctly tell us what meditation
Yes,
is?
meditation is where you allow yourself to kind of just like free yourself of all concentrated, focused thought, and allow it just to flow, just things to flow through and by and around you. And as you close your eyes, you just relax and allow yourself to just meditate. Sometimes people will focus on one point. Let's say that we decided we'd focus on that one light up there. And just by focusing, you're allowing yourself to free and relax the rest of your body. And a meditation can be, you can meditate to a fire. I often meditated by my fireplace, and that's looking into the flame and just seeing forms. It's beautiful. You can meditate by the ocean. If you listen to the sounds of the waves coming into the shore, that's a form of meditation. Prayer for some people is a form of meditation. Sure. There's so many different ways that you can...
How important is nutrition when it comes to stress management?
Well, you see, I think of a comprehensive view of a holistic stress management is the company I started in 1995 when I left the university system. And the whole concept of holistic health is you deal with nutrition and how important it is that you give your body food, healthy food, for its survival, just as you give your mind healthy food, your spirit healthy food. It all is about inhaling and consuming that which is good for you. You know, there's a big thing about children
Yes.
not watching ugly TV. Now, the thing that's so important there is that we're really talking, when we say that, is that what we take in is somehow what we become. And that's why it's so important in terms of stress management that we learn how to reject negativity. That I've had things happen to me where I was able to just smile. And like water on a duck's back, the negativity flows off. It was intended to hurt, but it doesn't, because I am the one who controls what I consume.
So, for instance, when someone says, "You make me so angry," that's impossible. I can't
That's
make
right.
you angry.
No, I allow you to
Yes.
make me so angry. And that's my responsibility.
Now, these are things we need to teach the children.
That's
we need to
things
learn
we need to learn ourselves.
and to teach our children.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when you really understand that as an energy segment within the universe, energy flows through you. And if you allow negative energy to consume you,
Yes.
you will have heart attacks. You will have cancer.
You'll end up in a fight.
You will. Hey. But if you reject, but if
Look over there.
but seriously, I mean, no, that's where ulcers come from. That's where headaches come from. That's where all these negativity things come from.
Now, tell me something.
Yes.
An apology. Let's just say I'm in a relationship with someone and I know I did something that was wrong. Instead of sleeping and not taking care of it, would a good thing be to just apologize? Would that release stress?
Absolutely, for you and the partner. That's why they often advise parents, no matter what has gone down during the day, even with your spouse, give a big hug. I mean, really, you mean it. A big hug and a kiss and say, "I love you." Because what happens is the bonding, which is basic to any relationship, is forwarded to the next day and through the night. If you go to bed and you are, antagonized by something someone said to you and it's just heavy on you, you don't really sleep well, do you?
No, you don't.
Yeah. So the point is that if you can free yourself of that, it's ultimately very selfish. I mean,
Yes.
because you're healthier when
Yes,
you do that.
very much
But the
so.
point is that you want to relieve yourself of that negativity.
So you can
So it's
say,
good to
"I forgive
apologize.
the person."
Yes, and I forgive myself for causing you pain, You have to also forgive yourself.
Now, Kenshasha, I would like for you to tell us, what was your experience producing your shows here at BCAT?
Okay, well, that's
and
a
I know
little bit-
and you've done two, and
Right.
so that means that you must have dealt with at least two ways,
Right.
two techniques of dealing,
with stress.
And you have so many more,
That's true.
so many more to.
Well, could I give you a little background on
Sure.
that? First of all, let me say that while I was a professor at the College of Staten Island, I was allowed to take free courses. And I took cinematography because it's been an abiding interest of me for many, many years. We take cinemas of our children, and we have pictures of them, how
So you
parents
have taken cinematology.
Oh, yes, I've taken cinematography at the College of Staten Island. So in doing that, I had to be a Staten Island producer. So I produced a film. As a matter of fact, interestingly enough, the film was on the health club, the Brooklyn Health Club here at the YWCA.
Okay.
They have 3 or 4 floors.
Yes.
And I did my master's thesis. It was a film, and it was done on a woman who was obese, and she was supposed to lose weight in honor in honor of her husband, who had wanted her to feel healthy and feel comfortable with whatever size she was, but as long as she was eating healthy and so forth and exercising. So I had film and we put music to it. It was really marvelous. And the requirement was that you not only star in the film, you had to set up the cameras, you had to run at least one camera. Let's say if I'm doing filming the pool at the Y, I have to actually set up the cameras for filming, and then someone else can actually shoot the film.
Okay.
Things like that. It was really wild. I mean, but it was very beautiful. It was a very good intro into the whole thing of producing shows. So that has been a real interest of mine for some number of years. And so that when of course, I was living in Brooklyn even while I was a professor over there. And I've lived in my home on State Street for 33 years. Wow. And I wanted very much to continue the work here after I left the college because you have to live in the community that you are a producer in. So I said, that's fine. Let's go over. And I studied remote and studio here. And I want to get into some of the other courses. I got a very nice listing from all the other things that they're doing. So it's very exciting to me. I think life should be exciting. I think that people should explore life. And certain things will really appeal to you. And other things you'll say, oh, well, I like it, but, you know, I can do it that way.
Now, I wanted to say, because a lot of people are watching this, where is that YWCA?
Right at the corner of
3rd Avenue?
Atlantic and 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to say that. And,
And
there's
they
a
have
pool
the health.
there.
Oh, pool. Oh, it's a wonderful.
Lots
They did $1 million renovation about 10 years ago, and they have steam rooms. They have the sauna. They have massage.
Well, the emphasis is on you. I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, fine.
It's
well,
there. It's there for people
it's
to
there
avail
for people to.
themselves.
Sure,
Now,
absolutely.
I know that you have some future plans
Yeah.
with stress management and cinematography. And you had mentioned before to me that you have a lot of footage from Africa where you've traveled a lot.
Oh, yes.
What do you plan to do?
Well, eventually I'd like to bring in a lot of my life experiences. I mean, my visit to the Eiffel Tower, Champs-Élysées, all over Africa. I love the concept and just the feeling that, oh, and that's another aspect of visualization. When on a very hot day, I might visualize myself going to Mount Kilimanjaro, where I actually went. And in my helping people deal with stress, I do a visualization where we go to the rainforest of Puerto Rico. Has a beautiful rainforest. And I remember this very old woman. I know she had to be 121 if she was a day. And it was marvelous to watch her live in this plethora of magnificent foliage. It's just a very exciting thing.
Well, I touched Stella because I wanted to say something. And Nelson Mandela, he probably had to do some of that, going different places.
Oh, in
to
his
survive,
mind.
yes.
Oh, in his mind, in his spirit. Absolutely. Mandela is a magnificent example of a man's spirit being kept alive. No matter how a person feels they are oppressing you, there is no oppression if you have God and the strength of your mind at your side. No way.
Well, it's been very interesting. Thank you so much, Kenshasha,
Thank
Shabaka. And the
you.
name of your show is again?
1,001 Ways to Cope with Stress.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you both.
I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Orville Nelson, and thank you so much for tuning in.
You've been watching Producer Profile.
And Franz Butler, that wonderful Franz Butler. This is his show, and a lot of the music you hear is Franz Butler.
Oh, yeah.
It was Mr. Bey, though? It wasn't?
It was Rashid Bey who was playing the
today.
piano. Okay. Thank you for watching Producer Profile.